Hi, this is Vanessa Love. This is my channel about the health field and related topics. All right, so this is more aimed at therapists than it is at consumers, but I do think that consumers do have to know about this because your information is going somewhere and you should know that. So when I talked about scams to look out for therapists, there's one thing that I definitely did not remember to include, and that is Multiplan. So I'm trying to look up information about Multiplan. It's a little bit rough. I want to just know what they are worth as a company, and I'm not finding that information. Bloomberg was like, they didn't even have like how many like people work for Multiplan. So I'm like, okay, all right. So I did find a court document that said that they wanted to like seal records for like testimony, I guess, against or for like Multiplan. So let me read something from that article. And let me see the date on it because actually, does it? Okay, so this is from 5/11/2016. It's the Federal Trade Commission. So it's on a judge's docket, if you want to know. It's Judge D. Michael Chappell. It says in the matter of Advocate Healthcare Network, a corporation, Advocate Health and Hospital Corporation, a corporation, and North Shore University Health Systems, a corporation. So third party, sorry, I've never seen intervener. Okay. I've never seen that word before. Lawyered, right? Okay. So let me read about like just, there's like background information that they give before they get to like the bigger things. So Multiplan is a healthcare cost management company that on its own and through its affiliates, I'll explain why that is a problem, operates PPO networks, which are preferred partner something, like it's definitely, like, I've read it recently, it's a preferred like patient organization or something like that. Networks which are formed from contracts with healthcare providers on the one hand, and with contracts with other organizations such as health insurance plans and employers or payers, allowing patients covered by payers, so employers, health benefit plans to receive services from providers at a discount rate in exchange for increased access to such patients. So I know that's a little bit heavy there, but basically what they do is the third party intervener is like the correct term from them for that, because like they are a middleman between healthcare providers and basically insurances that they negotiate lower prices. This is my problem. Lower prices for providers, like through and like kind of work with insurance companies to have a discount rate, saying, oh, we'll process your claim faster, and we'll give you access to all these clients, which is not true. Let me make this clear. That is not true. You do not have to be a part of this third party anything in order to go and bill an insurance company. And actually, like, without them involved, you usually just go to the insurance company. They're like, Multiplan basically gets, like, this is the problem that I have with them. They get the information about clients and processing, what is that called? Processing claims from insurance companies. They process it and then, I guess, give it back to the insurance company, and then they give it back to you. And I have been a part of this plan. I am recently off this intervener like thing because I just don't want them involved. I don't think that they should be looking over my client's information. I think this should be a HIPAA violation, honestly. Like, I don't know where they get where they get permission to look at people's information. I also don't know them. They are scammy as scammy can be. And I'm really trying to choose my words here, but they are scammers. Like, I don't know how else to really describe all of the behaviors that all of like the company representatives have. And even in looking into the company, it looks like Indeed, or not Indeed. No, it's from Indeed. Indeed says that like they pay people between like $10 and $15 to be like customer care reps. So like, okay, that seems to be a problem already. Like, anyway, the times that I've had to interact with anyone from Multiplan, they have never on the phone when they have called me identified themselves as someone from Multiplan. What they usually do, scammy, is, hello, I'm calling from, I'll use Cigna. I'm calling from Cigna. I'm calling on behalf of Cigna. Never, hi, I'm from Multiplan and I'm calling on behalf of Cigna because you have a couple of claims. They never say that, which is so wrong. There's so many times that I thought I was talking to Cigna and Connecticut or United, whoever, and I was actually talking to one of their representatives. That's fucked up. Like, so fucked up. How do you get off of doing that? They also, I checked out them on the Better Business Bureau, and there's a lot of people who complain about them and say, well, this Multiplan EOB, explanation of benefits, came to my house and it says that I owe blah, 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 blah. And almost every response on the Better Business Bureau website is, we are not an insurance company. And it's like, it's just, if you have to explain yourself every time, like, doesn't that mean that, like, you're not doing a good job of, one, advertising yourself, or, like, making people aware of who you are, or, like, you're deliberately trying to mislead people, especially when it says on here that, like, it is, like, it's a healthcare management, it's an HMO, healthcare cost management company that on its own and its affiliates, and this is 2016 that they're saying this is not that long ago. So like, if in court documents it says that Multicare is a HMO on its own, then it's a health plan. Like, you move so much. So I emailed them and I called them to get off the, panel, end my contract with them in January, I believe. So it takes like 3 months to get off their panel. I don't know what that is. But okay, fine. I do all the paperwork. I sign everything. I go back and actually double check with them in June because I just had a feeling that they were still involved. And when I looked back, when I contacted the rep who I was talking to, she's very nice. She was like, oh, I see that there was a couple of, cases that still reprocessed. And there was actually no payment on those. The money was going towards their deductible. So like, I was already paid by my clients, before any of this anyway. Like, it doesn't really matter, but like, I'm just kind of arguing, I guess, to prove a point. And so they sent me a couple of things that were like, you have to deal with this process. Like, do you negotiate for these costs? And I was like, no, I don't. And I got a call from someone else, from the company. And I think they said they're working on behalf of, Cigna, Aetna, whatever. And they were like, I was like, so this is Multiplan? And they were like, yes. Gotta ask the right questions. And I made sure, so they were like, well, so, what's really going on? And I was like, okay, well, I ended my contract with you, so I'm not negotiating. And they're like, okay, well, let the insurance company know that you're not negotiating with us. Yes, thank you. It's what the end of the contract should have been. And the other thing was that they started with the questions. Why did you want to get off of MultiPlan? We're such a great company and we process claims faster for you. It's like, I make more money without you. I make more money without them. Like, and this is why I have a problem with them. You make more money without them. The other thing that I don't know if a lot of clinicians know, or like why like a clinician would be okay with this. The thing is that legally, any company where you put in a claim, so like, and this just goes for providers, it doesn't count. Well, I mean, I guess if you're doing a super bill and you're sending it off, like as a client, like that's important, but like really only matters for providers. Within a month, they legally have to like get back to you about denial, any of that stuff. Like, so it like usually you have a year to put in your claims. Some people, and let me tell you, Anthem, in Connecticut at least, changed that from a year to 90 days. 90 days. They don't really tell anyone that, so now they're like, oh, that's a denial. That should be against the rules. The information that they sent out to every provider was a card that said, hey, check your provider manual. And I'm like, that's, I get those from other companies. I get emails from other companies that are like, hey, we updated our provider manual. And like, usually you click on their little link and it says, this is what we changed, like this section of this chapter. Anthem did not do that, and I think that they did that on purpose in order to make sure that claims weren't going to be processed, but just letting you know that that's something that happened last October. They're trying to be like, oh no, but we told everyone. Fuck off if you did. Like, ugh. Anyway, so you have technically a year to do any claim unless, some company tells you differently. So you have that year, right? And so within that year, hopefully you remember to put in your billing, and within a month they have to respond. Anthem is very tricky about these things, I do have to say, but like, I don't know. I don't seem to think that a month is a long time. Also because of more computerized billing, that isn't really an issue anymore. You get a response within like 2 weeks. So, and it's not like a terrible thing. And now they can go back and be like, oh, we received that on this day at this time. And usually they're fairly accurate about that. Like, I have no problems with that. So yeah, like, there's a lot to that, but like a month seems fairly soon, like it's fast. So MultiPlan doesn't really need to be involved with that either. And I don't know like what they're kind of banking on. Maybe like that they're banking on people not understanding that fully. So they're not really like doing you any favors. They're taking money, and I'm guessing that they're keeping that money. Like, I can't like be like, oh, they're totally taking that money. But I'm like, okay, but if all of my claims are being processed at $30 or $40 or $50 less than what I could be getting, then like, where is that money going? Like, is it just the new negotiated fee? Or is it like, oh, we take this $30 to $50 for every line item on the claim? Because it's not just like, they take $50 off at the end. No, they take it line by line. Sorry. And they like take that money out, and they're trying to like say that they're doing something so nice. They're doing something so nice for the providers, and you're gonna have so much access. No, you're not. Like, no, you're not. If this is not a scam, it has scam written all over it, and I told them when they called me, when they're like, oh, well, you can negotiate a new fee. I'm like, no, I can't. You have your ceilings, and I know exactly what they are. They're not anywhere near what I do without you being involved. The other thing is that they asked me, they asked me why I wanted to be off this contract, and I was like, I think that this company should be a HIPAA violation. You should know exactly where your information is going, your birthday, your address, your, everything, right? Your medical stuff. You should know where that's going. This company, as an intervener, knows your information, and they are using that in whatever middleman weirdness that they're using it. And I have concerns about that. And I really wish this company would get slapped with that, because you should be able to control your information. You signed up with an insurance company, it should stay at that insurance company. Like, you sign up with me, that information should stay with me. Like, and of course, in my contract, it says that I have the right to do this billing stuff. You should have complete control over where your information is. And I don't agree with this company having your information. Like, what are they really doing? Like, that, it's such a weird thing to have, like, a middleman in this situation. Like, there doesn't need to be a middleman. It's such a, like, I really hope that people do a deep dive into this, because to me, it's a problem. It is definitely something to look into, and it is like a very difficult way to manage. But I do want to say to anyone who is thinking of doing multi-plan, don't do it. You will be fine on your own. Even if you're not on the panels, you just have to wait for your client's deductible, like your client to reach their out-of-network deductible if they're not on an HMO. And like you will be paid. You will be paid much nicer, actually, if you're not on the panel than if you are on the panel. I don't know why that works, but that's how that works. So, like, it's, I know a lot of people use their insurance, and that's why, people want to find someone within their network, but it's also completely fine if you are not on any panels. It's actually, most people prefer that. That's actually the ideal. So don't let people think that you having multi-plan is going to make any of this easier. You having a computer and either doing your own billing, like through all of like the websites that they have for billing, or having a billing service. I don't use one. I can't recommend any, but you'll find one if you need it. Like that. You can use those two things and you'll be perfectly fine. Like, don't worry. I also want to say the reason that I don't use any of those, like, electronic health record and billing formats is because I do most of that myself anyway, and I don't want to pay like $200 a month in order to keep that somewhere. Like, you can do that for free on your own. Like, again, don't let people convince you that you need to do all of these other things, like, that kind of affect your bottom line. You can definitely do this for free on your own. You just have to feel like looking at little boxes. And I can tell you sometimes I don't feel like looking at little boxes, but I do pull myself together to do it. So I hope that was helpful for you, and I will talk with you guys soon. Thanks so much for watching.